Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're talking about how to make digital marketing as a side hustle. This is for if you have a 9 to 5 where you're going to work, if you're a student, and also if you're a business just waiting or looking forward to getting your feet wet. So with that, I will start by introducing myself. My name is Zabs and I'll be the pilot for this journey. Right, so let's get on with it. I have to say my previous videos have not been as exciting or as entertaining as I want, mainly because if I get too excited I talk too quickly and many of the words are lost in my pronunciation. So with that I'm gonna try to be more animated. I'm very passionate about what I'm telling you and I'm looking forward to making this work for all of us and making it more entertaining. Right, so with that simple or brief introduction about myself and my past videos, let's get back to it. So basically today we're talking about starting a digital marketing agency as a side hustle. I've already mentioned if you're a business, a student, or if you're working an ordinary job, you're looking for something new, digital marketing is something you can do as a consultant, as a freelancer, and if you're like me, you can build up to an agency. So we know right now that the economy is terrible for everybody, whichever part of the world you are in, and you're finding that your 9 to 5 is just not kicking it for you. You know there's so much more, there's so much better out there, and you want to make the most of it. So hey, you have the evenings for you from like 5 to 7 or 7 to 9 p.m. depending on what time you get home and depending on your family responsibilities. This is for you. I know I'm also talking to students who are in uni right now, who are looking for extra income, who are looking for ways of getting to the job market and finding ways of looking for money, because as I was a student there was never enough money. There's always something to do, some party to go, or some new items to buy, and more importantly, schoolwork was very engaging. So the last group of people I'd like to direct this conversation to are somebody who's not out of the business but in the workplace, who wants to try out digital marketing for their company and see how best they can improve things without having the funds to hire a outside consultant or outside experts to come into to help the business. So with that, I'd like us to get into this. In this guide, I'm going to talk about finding your niche. I'm going to talk about learning what you need to learn without spending so much, setting up a brand, and lastly, more importantly, how to get your first client. That's normally the biggest part, or rather the hardest. So I've saved it for last, and obviously my conclusion for this thing. So with that, let's start by a brief overview of what digital marketing is. At its core, digital marketing is promoting your products, service, businesses, or representing somebody else's business through online platforms. This is through social media, through websites, through Google Ads, through everything. And you want to sell products or sell services through this medium to get value back in terms of sales and profit. There are various fields or types of digital marketing, for lack of a better word. There is search engine optimization, there is pay-per-click, there is social media marketing, there is influencer marketing, there is content marketing, there is email marketing, and lastly, something I've not been a fan of, affiliate marketing. Maybe because I have too few followers, who knows? Right, that is a joke right there. So for this video, I'm going to tell you to learn everything. No, I want us to, as the video goes on, we'll break down to maybe one or two niches where you feel you're very strong at. Let's say, for example, without tipping my hat too much, you have a very strong social media following or you're big in social media. So rather than learning about Google Ads, rather than learning about email marketing, or rather than learning about any of the stuff I've mentioned, we are going to focus on social media marketing and maybe content marketing. So this is just not for everybody, but this is not for every niche because you're just one individual and you only have so much time in your day, maybe 4 hours or 5 hours in the evenings or early in the mornings. So this is what we're going to learn. So we're going to focus on one of them and for you to be successful. Right, so let's properly talk about choosing your niche or niching down. It's very tempting to want to do everything. But what I've learned in the past 5-10 years of doing digital marketing, being specific is very terrific. So you want to pick one industry where you're going to work and where you're going to be very, very successful. You can cast a wide net, and true enough, you will get many different fishes, and you become very frustrated. What you want to do is specialize and choose one industry to focus on and one service to focus on, and this way you can make the most of the little time that you have in the evening. And then maybe later on, when you've made so much money to quit your day job, or you're so comfortable to make digital marketing your full-time profession, you can add other industries or widen your scope or your knowledge. So for example, you want to choose an industry based on a couple of facts: how big the audience is, the business type, your geography. Let's say, for example, when you're looking at a business or when you're making your business plan, you don't say you offer social media services. No, I want you to be more specific and go like, I grow social media pages for companies in the tourism space, or I grow businesses through social media, small and medium enterprises that focus on landscaping through social media. It makes it easier for you to market, it makes it easier for you to position yourself versus the big brands, because we know the importance of looking for an expert in our field. And if you're an expert in this, that means you are more likely to get more business. So the popular niches that I googled in 2025 that you should get into is local services. These are plumbers, florists, saloons, and gyms. Another one is e-commerce product marketing, real estate, the real estate field, medical and wellness professionals, coaches, consultants, events and management, and lastly, non-profits, NGOs, and charity-based organization. So why would you choose any of these fields personally? What will make you pick this? I would pick this depending on my interest and passion. I'm an avid traveler. I love traveling. In fact, yesterday, Jeff Bezos got married in Venice, and I was like, oh my God, Venice is beautiful. I can't wait to go there. So my niche and my attraction is the tours and travel industry. Another thing you want to focus or leverage your experience is your connections and where your strong experience is. Like if you have a background in real estate, if you have a company or you've been selling property in your company, this is a field where you can get into because you already know the background, you know the market, and you know what it takes to sell. And more importantly, market demand. You just don't be there, not knowing what you're doing. If the demand is big enough for you, you know you're gonna make money and to be very successful. And now that you've chosen the industry, you have to pick the skill that you're gonna focus on. Are you gonna focus on running meta campaigns on Facebook and Instagram? Are you gonna focus on social media campaigns like posting, engaging, and growth? Are you gonna do email marketing for these industries that you have picked? Are you gonna do the Google SEO, Google Business Profile, just anything in those categories? So just work with your strengths, and that's the only way you can grow. A thing to consider is boosting your skills, your skill sets. I am assuming this is an interest that you had, but you have no formal training, and you're wondering, how am I going to learn these new skills without paying for a college degree, a university degree, or some very expensive course online? Because they're like, $5,000, $10,000 courses on digital marketing. Well, luckily, in this day and age, you can benefit from the free tools that are out there. For example, my favorite tool, where I always go all the time to learn anything new, is YouTube. YouTube University. YouTube has a trove of information. There are thousands and thousands of people like me giving you value in form of education on what to learn. There are free YouTube courses on basics of digital marketing, and if you're going to niche down, basic of social media, basics for Google Ads, basic for SEO. There are tons and tons of experts out there who are credible and who are well known, who can give you the best advice. And on top of that, there are websites who support you. Like for example, if you're gonna promote or sell Google products, there is Google University. They have a college where you can learn and help you grow as a digital marketer. Also, there is a Meta blueprint where Meta teaches you about how to use Facebook, Instagram for social as well as for the paid ads. There is HubSpot Academy. They give you free information and free tutorials and free lessons. And lastly, there is Coursera and edX. You can get a couple of lessons for free and stuff. Oh, in addition to these, there are some universities that have free courses online. I think Stanford has, where you can just learn basics of digital marketing, basics of social media marketing, and you will be better off. So when you're approaching your clients, you know what to do and how to operate your skills. It doesn't take you long to learn this, maybe a couple of hours, maybe 10, maybe 20 hours, because you just need to know enough information to get you in the game. So there are paid courses, of course. There is Udemy, there is Skillshare, there is Domestika. I'm waiting for all these guys to give me a free to sponsor my videos, but since I only have like 12 subscribers, not yet. So yeah, you can learn from those guys. And then secondly, another important thing in learning is doing by practice. So if you have a few dollars to spare here and there, you can self-fund and try and run campaigns for your own pages or for your own products. Let's say, for example, you will need to have your own Facebook page, which I'm sure I will get into it later in the space for branding. So you can use your own pages to grow your business. So you can learn by practicing, by learning about the levels on Meta, on Facebook and Instagram. You can learn by using your websites, see how Google works, how search engine optimization works, because practice and experience is the best teacher. Somewhere else to learn about your skill that you're interested in is through online communities. There are plenty of forums on Reddit. There is Quora. Used to be a bit popular, but not anymore. There are Google forums where you can learn from experts and ask and answer questions. Also, there are plenty of Facebook groups that can help somebody in your situation. And then lastly, the last place you can learn is by subscribing to various blogs and getting newsletters from them. There are industry experts you can learn from. Top of my head, there is Neil Patel, Backlinko, Social Media Examiner, 8reps, and any marketing channel. Now that you've learned a bit of things here and there, now you're a bit of an expert. You're no longer a novice. You're ready to get out there, or rather to put yourself out there. It's time to build your brand or build your online presence. Eventually people come and find you, so it's best to create a brand now where you build on. And we're also using the assumption that you don't have too much money in your pocket right now, so I'm gonna give you affordable solutions to start off. So the first thing I feel that you would need to have is a website. You can use WordPress, you can use Wix or Squarespace that have free options where you link or rely on the main website. I'm getting the right word for it. So it won't be your domain yet, but it'll be your website address .wix or .wordpress. And here you'll give a brief introduction about yourself, services you provide, a contact form for people to get in touch with you, and industries you'd like to serve. Another free resource that would work miracles and leaps and bounds for you is having a professional LinkedIn profile. Here is where you have a proper photo, a proper background, a proper introduction, your education level, what you want to do, and here people who are looking for your services will stumble upon you and get in touch with you. And so you would need to also brand yourself on social media. You would have to come up with a Facebook page, Instagram page, TikTok page, or a YouTube page that is specifically designed for your business. You're going to leave your personal page aside and work on your business. We can't forget about listing on Google. You need to open Google My Business profile, list your phone number, your address, services you provide, and the hours you work. And if you have a bit more change in your pocket, you can opt to having your own email address. So it'll be somebody at somebody.com. If you're like me, this is the place I would jump onto the first time I was doing this, is how to get your first client. All this learning, all this branding, and all of this is for you to get your side hustle, to get extra dollars to your account, and for you to live freely and happily. So I'm gonna give you a few examples or a few tips on how to get your first 3 or 4 clients in your door to work in your business. In my experience, what I did, which really came through, is tapping on my personal and professional network. I reached out to family members, my uncles, my aunties, my friends, my cousins, if they're selling anything online and they would need any help with digital marketing. So I was offering social media services, I was offering Google ads, I was offering content marketing. If any of them needed any help with that, because I had assumed they don't have the knowledge or the time to manage their own content. And luckily for me, 2 or 3 relatives got back to me, and that started the ball rolling. Obviously they paid me next to nothing, but I just went the experience. Another way to get your foot in the door in the job market is to offer discounted work or work for free and asking to be paid in terms of testimonials and referrals. You'll be targeting small businesses in your community or in your area, and since they're small, they might not have the budget to support you and your dreams. So what you want to do is give them free work, learn the industry, and then more importantly, get testimonials or referrals, so that when you get to your 4th or 5th client, you go like, I worked for so and so, and this is the results I got, and I can do the same thing for you, and you'll be getting money. Another option would be using freelance platforms. There's a video I talked about how I worked for Upwork, and I worked for freelancer.com, Fiverr, People Per Hour, and it got me some experience. It got me how to learn how to use these things, and although it wasn't the best experience, I learned and I got some money. So this is one of the ways of getting your first clients and just getting you getting some experience in. If you have friends or family who are established in the industry or who are established in the game, I would advise to approach them and ask them to give you low level work, grant work, just for you to get an experience of how working in an agency is. You will find that these agencies who you approach are overwhelmed with work, or rather, they have these clients that they don't take care of them as much or don't focus too much on them because they either pay too little or ask for too much. You can get them. They can hand them over to you and you can manage them. So lastly, in this section, this is something I really hated. This is something I really hated doing, but I have to mention it because I promised to provide value, and this is through cold calling and cold outreach. Cold calling is such a nightmare for me. I did it once and I was like, never again. But you can cold DM. How do you do this? You do this by setting up your LinkedIn profile, pick a couple of companies that you want to work with, and then look for who's the managing director, HR, and get in touch with them to see if they can benefit from your services. This for sure takes time, but in the end, you'll be in touch with decision makers and hopefully they'll give you business. This worked out for me maybe 2 or 3 times, but yeah, it works. I forgot to mention networking. This is my bread and butter right now. I can't believe I forgot to mention it, so I will talk about it now. Attend networking events or local events where you can find out about people's businesses, exchange cards, follow up with them and see how best you can be a solution to them. Let's talk about money. You have your skills, you got your first client, how are you gonna build it? How you build your clients? It's very simple. In the beginning, you'll be forced to pay way lower than you actually deserve because you need experience, sadly. And then secondly, because you don't know too much, you can't ask for top dollar because you don't know that much. And then secondly, try and bill with as much value as you can give. I met a friend in the insurance industry, and he says his business focuses on value. They do not make money but give value in the end. And this is something I always stress and insist on all upcoming marketers, upcoming entrepreneurs, upcoming professionals. Your aim is not to make money, your aim is to give as much value as possible. If you're giving little value, you can't bill a lot. If you're giving out a lot value, on the other hand, that is when you bill a lot. So play around that realm of value versus income. Secondly, when you're coming with pricing strategies, you should know that you can't do hourly rates because number one, you work in the evenings and you're only doing like maybe 2 or 3 hours per day, so you can't focus on hourly pricing but mostly packages. So let's say you get paid per results or per month, but it has to be way reduced because you're not giving as much time as possible. And then you can bill according to different packages. You can say, I charge X amount of dollars for a basic package, I charge X amount of dollars for a standard package, I charge X amount of dollars for a premium package. And in each level, basic, standard and premium, you have different services that you offer, and you can justify why you're asking for so much and so much. And also, I should mention, don't work for free for too long. Just get the experience, get out, and now start looking for money. And if you're to make any money, reinvest in your business, reinvest in a computer, reinvest in tools you need, reinvest in paid platforms that you could be using that were free. For example, if you're using the free version of Canva, now go to the paid version, and so forth and so on and so forth. Now, there is only 24 hours in a day, and this And this section I want to talk about how to manage your time. The assumption is you've left your full-time job, your 8 to 5, and you're tired. You want to eat, or crawl up to bed, or switch on your TV and enjoy Netflix. But you want something better for your life, and this is the only time you get to grow your business. So there's a balancing act. I know you have family, I know you have responsibilities to your house. If you're from school, you're exhausted, you want to rest, but this is not the time to rest, this is when to grow. So you have to look at what time is available for you. So we are talking about evenings, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. depending on what time you get home from work. We're talking about weekends, from Saturday to Sunday, depending on your religion or your affiliation. And then we're talking about my best time of the day, early mornings. This can be as early as 5, and if you're as wicked as I am, at 4 a.m. And from 4 to 8, you can do a lot and provide value and service. So you'll have to be very focused. You always have to do one thing at a time, and always don't get distracted or engage with other things. Just focus on your work that you need to do. Use the 80-20 rule. Try and focus on things that gives you the most value, which is the 20 of the 80 rule. Another thing you should do, and thank God for AI, is automating most of your work. That means scheduling posts, using algorithms, or not algorithms, I apologize. There is scheduling your social media content. There is using AI to come up with stuff to help you with content, with prompts, with solutions. Any content that can be automated, or any work that can be automated, through it. Another thing you should also consider, because you have limited time and you'll be available to your clients 24/7 like other agencies, is to set your client expectations. Tell them they should know that you're working between these hours and these hours, and that's when you're going to provide them with the value or what you need. Another thing I need to talk about, I don't know how open or flexible your current boss is, or your current employer. Maybe they'll be open to you stealing some time here and there to do your work when your office is slow, but that is obviously a personal judgment call. Let's talk about scaling. I'm sure now you'll be comfortable with your 3 or 4 clients, getting a steady income. You feel you're more comfortable. You can feel you can automate by getting paying for more services that will do most of the things you're doing. If you have like 5 to 10 more clients, here are things to help you scale up. You can hire an assistant to work for you during the day and just manage things for you. Number 2, you can ask for 2 or 3 a month off, or 2 months off your actual work, to see how much you can get by investing in your business. Another thing is partnering with other freelancers to see if they can help you manage the workload for your business to grow. And this is obviously a good problem to have. In conclusion, I want to wish you the best. I want to wish you all the best for you. I want to say congratulations on this journey. Congratulations on getting more money for your business. We know in life you need multiple sources of income, and you just can't rely on your main gig, your 9 to 5. You have to have so many solutions to bring you income. It has worked for me. It has worked for so many other people, so it will definitely work for you. So I wish you the best in your endeavors. I hope you become a digital marketing guru, and that hear from you maybe a few years from now. And with that, I'd like you to comment and tell me what you think about what I've said. And I will say goodbye and get out of here.